The Wellness Show, episode 97. Oh, and by the way, watch right to the end. We have a special offer for everyone.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So welcome to The Wellness Show. I have Marisa Moody on the show today, and we're going to talk about wellness. We're going to talk about wellness from a unique perspective. It's going to come from her own personal struggle of how she became vital, healthy, fit, and alive. So first, a bit about who she is. She's a registered personal trainer, a nutritional coach, and owner of FitCity Tours and Travel. I like that. Travel sounds like fun to me. She loves motivating people to do more than they think they're capable of and helping people find the fun in physical activities. She believes that being healthy doesn't have to be so complicated. Simple changes done consistently can lead to staggeringly good results. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you say healthy should be simple and not require a complete overhaul of your life. So what do you mean by that?
I think that people, when they decide that they want to make a change in their life, they look around them at what other people are doing and they think that they need to just overhaul everything. They need to change their diet. They need to go to the gym 6 or 7 times a week, and they just try and take on too much at once. And I think if people really pull it back to the simple tasks and try and do those consistently, that's where they will find results. For myself, I never used to always be so fit and active and healthy. I definitely spent many years as a chubbier one of many of my friends and struggled to run for more than 2 minutes and was winded and out of breath. For me, I decided to focus on one thing. I really wanted to see if I liked running. I knew I hated it at that moment, but I thought if I just try it for 30 days, and then after the month, if I don't like it anymore, then that's fine. I tried it and I can move on and do something else. I didn't try to open my diet. I didn't try to cut out all my carbs. I didn't try to, do any number of insane, intense things. I just tried running. And to be honest, I started at a really basic level, starting running for 2 minutes and walking for 1 minute. So I knew that I could do that. And then I built on that and did that repetitively. Then the next week it was 3 minutes of running, 1 minute of walking. And I just kept building on the habit and focused on that one thing for a month and let everything else fall by the wayside.
Well,
Not everything else, but everything
every single day, or were you doing every other day? How did it start?
Every other day, like maybe 3 or 4 times a week, and not every day because, again, I wasn't a runner. So to go from not running to running every day, that's pretty extreme.
Yeah,
I was really aiming for, probably I did it about 3 times a week.
So then how did you motivate yourself? I know for me, like I'm a walker. So I walk 45 minutes every other day. Tomorrow's my walking day. And I came up with 1,000 million zillion reasons why I shouldn't go walking every morning, but I know that I need to. So in that first period of time to get yourself motivated, if you were only doing it like 3 times a week, how did you get over that mental struggle that says, you don't need to do it, or it's raining out, or I'm too tired, or how did you struggle with that?
I think for me, because in the beginning of the month, I made that commitment to myself that I'm going to do it for 30 days. And I knew that there was an out at the end of the month. If I didn't like it, there was no one keeping me. I didn't have to be a runner. My life was not going to be any less valuable or fulfilled if I never became a runner. That was fine. But I made that commitment to myself that I'm going to try it for 30 days. So I think that was my motivation. Like, give it a go, get your best shot, and really stick to this for a month. And then at the end, if you don't like it, you can let it go. And lo and behold, at the end of the month, of course, I loved it. And then I became an avid runner, but I didn't have those expectations in the beginning. And I think also I approached it from a point of view of me wanting to be active as opposed to wanting or needing to lose weight. There wasn't this negative, self-depreciating comments running through my head of like, oh, I have to go work out. I need to get rid of this. I'm not comfortable in my clothes. My belly's too fat. There was none of that negative mindset. It was more around, I said, I'm going to try running for a month. Today is the day I'm going to go. I'm going to go. And I can go for 2 minutes. That's all. I don't have to go run for half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm going to go for 2 minutes and walk for 1. And once you have your shoes on and your workout clothes or your running clothes and you're outside, chances are you're probably going to go for more than one cycle of 2 minutes of running. You're already out there going.
Well, that's great. So, so did you use this technique with anything else? I mean, did you try other things, or once you got in the groove with running, you just stuck to it?
Yeah, I mean, running is kind of a funny thing. It's very addictive, and anyone who is a runner or knows runners just knows that you kind of, once you get into that, you thrive off of that runner's high after. So once after a month, I actually drove the route back with mom, and we clocked it on the car, and it was 5 kilometers, and I was just blown over that me, the non-runner, had run 5 kilometers. That was like the craziest thing. So, you know, admittedly, I do have a little bit of a competitive personality, and not that I was competing with anyone else, but only with myself, in that after that first month, I was like, maybe I can do 10 kilometers. I don't know. I never thought I would be able to do 5. So why not try for 10? And then that turned into half marathon and then a full marathon. And, you know, it wasn't like I woke up one day and was like, I need to run a half marathon or I need to run a marathon. It was, I'm going to go and run for 2 minutes. So I think that it's really just finding one habit, sticking to that for however long it takes until it is part of your routine. And then at that point, building on it. I think people sometimes look too many steps ahead or too big of a project to tackle and try and do it all at the beginning. And they unfortunately set themselves up for disaster and falling off the wagon because they bite off more than they can chew, really.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I know for myself, I do 4.5 kilometers in my walk. I'm at a bit of a plateau, and I know I need to do something else. So I've started to do some Tibetan rites and to do a little bit more yoga. But I know that you can get into a plateau as well. But it sounds to me like you didn't reach a plateau. It sounds like you just kept challenging yourself. Well, if I've done 5, now I'm going to try 10, and now I've done 10, now I'm going to do this, and ended up with half a marathon. So that must be really exciting for you. Did you ever have some slumps and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely there was some periods where, well, there was a running injury that came into the mix somewhere where I couldn't run for a while. So anyone who's been active and then dealt with an injury knows how devastating that is, not only on your physical body, but more specifically on your mental and your emotional health. That is really hard to get through. And you know, in the past, I want to say even 3 or 4 years, I've pulled away from running because it doesn't excite me in the same way that it used to. So now I've taken more to weight training and going down that route. So I'm always looking for something new and interesting to challenge me. But I'm not trying to do it all at once. It's just little steps of like, okay, I've done this. So now what's the next thing that I can do that is within reason to accomplish? You know, I didn't go from a 5K to an ultra marathon. Like there's little steps in between to progress yourself to the next thing.
So really, that's the question that you were saying about why do people struggle to make healthy changes in their life. And I guess what you're really saying is they bite off more than they can chew, or they have a huge goal and they want to get it done almost overnight. And that's a killer.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that happens in physical activity, and same with nutrition when people try to make changes in that regard. People think, oh, on Monday I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna go to 5 fitness classes this week, or on Monday I'm gonna start eating paleo. Well, why? Like, what is the reason behind that, and what are your goals, and is that realistic from your starting point? Like, let's look at your life, the factors that are influencing your life right now, your stress, your family, your relationships, your work, all of these things, and what is realistic. What are some small changes that you can make to shift the dial in the right direction, as opposed to trying to just fly over and get to the end goal without appreciating that there's little milestones and steps along the way.
So, I mean, you just brought up another part that, this is not just physical exercise to get where you were, get from where you are to where you wanted to be. You talked about diet. So talk a bit about diet.
Yeah, I think that is such a hot topic in that, especially like I brought up paleo or people who are, trying to do no carbs, or they're following this detox or that cleanse or whatever. And I think that's because people are looking for the short win, right? And they want immediate or very quick results without having to put in the work over the long term. And unfortunately, people who want to live a healthy life and have it integrated into their whole life, it's just that it's not a short win. It's something that you build on, and you build it into your routines and your habits until it's something that you actually enjoy. Like my example with running, I didn't enjoy it at first, but I built it into the routine, and then I did enjoy it. I love running. So people might not enjoy eating vegetables all the time. So why would you try and strip out all the sugar, all the pop, everything that you're eating, all the processed food, and only do vegetables for a week? Like, that probably is not setting yourself up for success. A more realistic approach would be choosing one meal, let's say dinner, and trying to fill half your plate with veggies. Choose something very specific, very manageable, that you can do and not feel like it's completely overwhelming, and also having to change your whole life around in order to accomplish it.
So what's your diet like? I'm just curious.
I think I definitely practice a balanced lifestyle. So for an example, for dinner, typically there would be a protein on the plate, whether it's, chicken or pork or beans or something of that matter. And then honestly, I would say 50 to 70% of my plate is vegetables, steamed broccoli or grilled veggies on the barbecue, or sometimes raw veggies with hummus, but way more than half of my plate is all vegetables. And I didn't just jump into that. I started gradually increasing, and now I'm used to that, and I like that, and the vegetables fill me up. And then I think the other really important thing is really 95% of the time I'm drinking water. And then tea, I suppose. I don't drink juice. I very, very rarely, I don't even know the last time I ever drank pop. And it's not like I'm saying those things are bad. But for me, water, it's hydrating. It does enough. I don't need all those extra sugary bits. And so I think for people who do have a habit where they are drinking a lot of their calories and intaking a lot of sugar through their beverages, it's not get rid of it all and only drink water. It's like, maybe what meal today can you have water instead of your juice or pop or coffee or whatever your habit is of drinking? Or maybe instead of reaching for your glass of orange juice in the morning, you can have a glass of water before you get your orange juice, and just slowly start increasing the water intake. So it's building these slow habits into your regular routine. And then once you're ready, then you'll build on and expand on them.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really good habit. I like that one, start your day off with a big glass of water. And guess what? It tastes so good first thing in the morning. You're almost going to want another one later on. Whereas if you start with tea, you're looking for that sweetness, you're looking for that edge. So yeah, I think a great tip is start with a big glass of water and enjoy it. Let your body be hydrated.
Yeah, I go to bed with a glass of water. I put it right beside my bed. So sometimes I'm thirsty in the middle of the night, but then also when I wake up and I turn my alarm off, the water is right there. I before I've even gone out of bed, the first thing my eyes see after the alarm clock is water, and I grab my water and drink it. So set yourself up for success the night before. So it's right there. It's not that you have to get out of bed and, you kind of want to make coffee, but then you got to it's literally right there. It's the first thing I see.
I love that. That's a great hot tip. So I got another one like that. I like that one. I'm going to do that.
Good. Excellent. Another really easy tip that people can do without having to change your diet or get a cookbook or learn all these techniques is just take away the distractions when you eat. We are so much in society where we always have our TV or our computer or our phone or whatever going on that we're so distracted beyond the meal that we're actually eating. They're not allowing our body to recognize and acknowledge the signals that are coming from our brain to our stomach and vice versa around fullness. So try, even this week, just try one meal without any distractions. Turn the TV off, put your phone away, sit in silence if you don't have someone to eat your meal with, but just try and not have any sort of media distractions around you while you eat. And that done consistently will actually lead to huge results because you're just more aware of what you're eating, the food, the texture, the flavors, and you're allowing yourself to get those messages when your body is full, and you'll stop eating.
I like that. So tip number 2 is conscious eating. If you're going
Yes.
to eat. Don't try and do multitasking while you're eating. You're defeating the purpose. Your body wants your attention when you're eating, and it will love you for it. So that's another great tip. So do you have tips around, like, did you find that, as you made this shift in your life, what about proportions of food? Did you find that changed? Or did you consciously?
Definitely it's changed. And I think, even more so than focusing on portions for me is, I do eat out at restaurants, absolutely, with like friends and family. We're going out, but by and large, I don't eat a lot of processed food throughout the week in terms of grabbing a quick snack here or there. I really try and make the effort to make my lunch at home, to make meals at home, have breakfast at home. And so I feel like if I'm getting healthy home cooked meals that I've made myself, that has gone a long way to improving my health and my diet. Because when you go out and you're always grabbing food on the go, which there's nothing wrong if you're in a rush and you do need to do that, but if you rely on that for your meals every day, the serving sizes and the calorie proportions are way out of whack than what your body needs. So I find that and even beginner step prior to reducing the portion sizes, just try and make some meals at home or prep some food to take with you if you're heading out.
Okay, so I like that. And there was some other tips in there, so I'm just going to bring them up. And you brought it up again, and that is cut out juices if you possibly can. Cut out diet, like the sodas, so all those soda pops, and the junk food. If you can just, leave that alone or let it, not be as important in your life. And then be aware of your portions. That when you do go out, that's fine. Maybe think about the fact that you don't have to eat it all, and you can bring a doggy bag back with you, so that you're not stuck with feeling you got to clean the whole plate off. Because it's absolutely true. Once you start eating the way that, consciously, like you said, you will find that the proportions will be smaller than what you're going to get in a restaurant. So that's something to be aware of. So, yeah, those are great tips.
And one other thing I would just mention, just when you're summarizing those tips, is that often people think about them from like the negative perspective of, I need to cut out pop, I can't have fast food, I can't do this. And as soon as someone says you can't have something or can't do it, immediately your mind wants it. You're setting that psychology, and as much as you're trying, it's still there in the back of your mind of like, I can't have pop, but I really want it. Oh, I can't. So I suggest trying to look at it from a positive on the flip side of I'm not having pop, I'm not having juice, but at breakfast, have an orange instead of juice. So it's not like I'm not going to have juice. It's like I'm going to eat my breakfast and I'm going to have an orange today and some water. Or instead of having pop, the thought is my goal is to increase my water intake. So just try and think about it from a more positive place, and I think that it will help some of that feeling that you're missing out or you can't have it, that feeling that triggers that I need to get that now.
Yeah, I like that, because after a while it just becomes natural. It's not that you're depriving yourself of anything, it's that your body naturally wants to have that glass of water because it wants to feel hydrated, doesn't want to have the sugar because it doesn't want to have that buzz. So yeah, but be gentle on yourself is really your big message, right? Like, don't jump off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are so hard on themselves. They set out to, they have the best of intentions, and they set out to, a new week, a new month, a new year, whatever, to be healthier and make the right choices that they want to make. And then somewhere along the way, they make a change that they didn't want to make, or they make a decision that they didn't mean to do, and then all is lost. Everything is done. They need to wait till the next week or the next month or maybe the next year to get back on the train, so to speak. And I think that people need to just be a little bit more accepting and forgiving for themselves, that just because you made one decision today that isn't in alignment with your goal, that's fine. Tomorrow's a fresh day, or the next meal is another meal, another chance to try. So just try and look about it as, what can I do better tomorrow? This is what happened today. That is fine. And how can I improve on that for tomorrow? And I
That
think that if
sounds
people
like a hot coaching tip. It sounds to me that that's something that you do for your clients, that you'd be there for your client and saying, well, okay,
absolutely.
you didn't succeed today, and that's okay. You fell off the wagon a bit, and that's fine. But help them get back into the groove and do it. So is that part of what you do when you're coaching people?
Yeah, definitely. I think if people talk to themselves the way they talk to their friends, we'd be in a totally different place in the world. People are so hard, and there's so much negative self-talk and self-doubt that sometimes people just need an external voice to tell them that they're doing okay, and that it's not the end of the world if they made a bad choice, or not even a bad choice, but not a choice that's supporting their goals. And tomorrow they have the same opportunity to make a different choice. So I think that really goes a long way, and also helping people appreciate the small wins. Like maybe you didn't make it to the gym 5 times this week, but you went twice, and that's awesome. You went twice. Not everyone goes to the gym twice, so celebrate that, and let's do better next week.
So, so do you encourage people to have buddies as well to do this sort of work together?
Yeah, accountability is key. I mean, it's part of the reason why there is a personal training industry, absolutely, is that people need the accountability. They need someone to check in with, to show up for, and that can be a trainer, but that can also be a friend or a coworker, family member. And if you don't have anyone who wants to work out or make these healthy changes in your eating, then that's fine. You can also just text someone. You can just ask someone, can I be accountable to you? I'm going to go to the gym in the morning. I'm trying to go at 6 a.m. Can I just text you and tell you that I've made it there? Because when you know that someone is expecting that message or email or phone call from you, you're more likely to follow through on it because they're expecting it from you.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. So how long have you been doing this? How long since that big turnaround in your life when you went from, being the person in the body that you weren't happy with, saying, hey, I need to do something about this?
That was I think about 11 years ago.
Oh, good
Yeah,
for you.
I've been a personal trainer now for 6 years, but there was about 5 to 6 years before I became a personal trainer when I was just getting into running and then into weightlifting, and then I really enjoyed encouraging other people to run and get more active, and then that became the progression into going into personal training.
Wow. So do you work by yourself or do you work with out of a facility? How do you do this?
No, I work independently of my own company, Motivated Movement Personal Training, and I train in Vancouver in Kitsilano. So I have a gym space that I train out of, and then I also train people independently in their homes, outside in parks, in condo gyms. Not everyone likes to go to a gym, and that's totally fine. I love working out outside. So a lot of my clients will just meet at a nearby school or park, and I have lots of fitness equipment in my gear, and I just kind of bring the gym with me.
Neat. So does that mean that sometimes you meet as a group of more than one, or does it usually you meet one to one?
Yeah, I have some people that I train in small groups. So I have some one-on-one, and then I have a couple groups that's 2 or 3 different people that we meet all together. And when we do a workout weekly in that way.
Great. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I know in Vancouver, going and seeing other people doing exercising together is really quite exciting, particularly the Chinese, when they all get together, all ages, and they're starting to do Tai Chi first thing in the morning. It's really inspiring. And in our culture, we're not so used to doing that, but all throughout China, when you travel, that's just the way you spend your morning. You go and you work out together, you do Chinese or Qigong together or Tai Chi. So it's not part of our culture yet, but it sounds like you're starting to bring that as a possibility for people to come together so the fitness and sociability can be part of something that you can do together and enjoy.
Yeah, that actually, so Motivated Movement is my personal training company, but then I also this past spring started FitCity Tours, and kind of based on that premise, it's active sightseeing tours of Vancouver. So running tours, walking tours, and cycling tours, showing people the city off the beaten tourist track. So taking people around the city and showing it to them like a local. And I think people are becoming more aware about being healthy and active, and also because it's part of a healthy lifestyle. It's integrated into your life. That doesn't mean that you go on vacation and all of a sudden you don't do anything active. When you are living a true healthy active lifestyle, you want to be doing it all the time because you genuinely enjoy it. So active tourism and active travel is definitely on the rise. And I love taking people around the city, active people around the city from lots of different countries, showing them just how cool Vancouver is.
Oh, I love that idea. I mean, that's the sort of thing I do. I do sacred Shuswap outings here, where I take them to the sacred aspects in the landscape and teach them how to commune with nature. So that's sort of the thing that I love to do. And so it's really fun to, combine that hiking and that awareness and seeing the world through different eyes. So that's a great idea. So, one of the things that I would think would be fun is to take a group up to Macmillan Bloedel Conservatory to see the Chinese people doing, Tai Chi in the morning, for example, or taking them to different ethnic neighborhoods where this is part of how they get up in the morning and do what they're doing. So yeah, there's lots of possibilities. I can see taking them. I don't know if I want to do the Grouse Mountain grind, but I guess that's a possibility too. Or maybe going up in the
Yeah, and there's
gondola and doing some running up there. So yeah, there's infinite amount of possibilities in there.
Yeah, and Vancouver is such an active city. I mean, it's one of the most active in the world, really. So, in my opinion, to really see the city, I think you need to be active and outdoors. I think that if you come to the city and you just go on a bus or you stay indoors, you're not really doing it justice, and you're missing out on so many great components of the city.
Yeah, and a lot of the beautiful places you really do have to get out and get around in order to see. So, this show, the wellness show that you're on and being interviewed on now is in, so we have listeners in 40 different countries. So you out there, if you're planning a vacation and you're coming to Vancouver, then I really encourage you to hook up and make fitness and tourism part of your package. And, why not? It sounds like a great way to see the city, see the sights, get fit, have fun, and have a healthy lifestyle. So that's a really exciting. So are you also going to do some tours where you take people elsewhere?
Perhaps in the future. Right now, I'm just focusing on within Vancouver.
Yeah.
There are some other companies that go outside of the outside of Lower Mainland. For right now, I'm just focusing on the city because there's so much to see in the city, and so many of my tours go into places that you wouldn't normally go if you were on one of the more mainstream tours, or certainly on a tour bus. A couple of my tours, there's no way you could go to the secret beach or the cool trails that we go on if you were in a vehicle. You have to be either on a bike or by foot to get there.
So how do you do this? Do you, is your typical tour like half day, 2 hours, or how do you do that? Do you all meet at a certain place and away you go, or?
Yeah, so there's a couple different tour lengths. The running tour is about 75 minutes to 90 minutes, depends on the running pace. And we stop every 5 to 10 minutes. So it's not that you have to have this high level of running ability. If you can run 5K, you can do the running tour. We meet in English Bay and run through Stanley Park and around the seawall over to Cole Harbour. The walking tour is about 2.5 hours, and we walk at a decent pace, where it's not like a leisurely stroll, but we're not huffing it up the hill. We're at a good solid pace, and we go from Granville Island up to Queen Elizabeth Park. So you get a unique view through lots of interesting neighborhoods in Vancouver. And I show you some of my favorite sushi joints and really awesome ice cream place in Vancouver, and just some cool restaurants that you could check out afterwards. And then the cycling tour is different from other cycling tours in Vancouver in that we head out to the west side of the city, out towards Kitsilano, and up towards Point Grey and UBC. So you really get away from the crowds, see the gorgeous, gorgeous beaches out that way, and stunning scenery that you would miss if you just stayed downtown.
Well, being a refugee from Vancouver, I can honestly say that the tours you're talking about are some of my favorite places in the city. So again, if you're outside of the city coming in, then those tours would be really, really exciting, I think, for anybody. Another one would be, I would think, is going up Grouse Mountain or going up on the gondola and doing something up there as well. But that's just
Yeah, and I definitely give a lot of hiking suggestions. I'm an avid hiker. I love going on hikes all around the city. Grouse Grind is a cool accomplishment and a great thing to do, but I have a few other not secret, but personal favorite hikes that I like to give as recommendations on my tours.
great. Well, we got about a minute to go here. So what are the last tips you'd like to leave with people, and how do people get hold of you?
So I have on my website on the motivatedmovementpt.com, right on the homepage, you'll see there's an opportunity to sign up, and you'll get 7 tips that you can do, which will drastically change your life if you stick to them. I mean, the number one tip is consistency. People want to do things in the short term. They want to do it for a week or two and see results. You really need to stick to one tip, not all 7. Choose one that you think you can do, you're confident you can do with a 90 to 95% confidence rating, and stick to it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks till it's comfortable, and then add a new tip or a new habit. Don't try and change everything at once. So choose one and be consistent.
I love that. Well, it was great to have you on the show. You're a great inspiration. I love your particular unique aspect of, making this fun and getting out and getting into nature, whether it's running or whether it's hiking or biking. Get out, enjoy the sun, even the rain in Vancouver, but get out and be active. The liquid sunshine. And for those of you that are coming to Vancouver, I really highly recommend that you book some time and enjoy Vancouver from a very healthy perspective. So thanks for being on the show. It was great to have you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Hey, thanks for watching right through to the end. We do appreciate you here at The Wellness Show. And to show our appreciation at this wonderful time of year, we're going to be giving away a $50 gift certificate over the next 12 episodes. And at the end of the 12 episodes, we'll be giving a $500 grand prize gift certificate that you can spend at either the Wellness Store or the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Now, how do I get in to win this? Simple. Like, share, comment, or subscribe to our channel, and then come over to our Facebook page, The Wellness Show, and let us know that you did so. While you're there, you can also comment and enter into the conversation about the current episode and have answers back from Tyson and the people that were interviewed. So again, like, comment, share, subscribe, and tell us you did so on the Facebook page, and we'll enter you in to win a $50 gift certificate, 12 of those, or the $500 grand prize gift certificate to be spent at the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy or the Wellness Show. And happy holidays from me, Tyson Bannigan, and all of us at the Wellness Show and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy.